You want me to dance for you? Just a minute, I'm coming.
Good evening, and welcome once again to SaffronSACAP's voiceover talk show. It's amazing to be back again with everybody. We want to welcome everybody back after last week's amazing session.
Status in the first country they reach, if, for example,
I'm going to ask if everybody can please put themselves on mute. We've got quite a few of you.
Sent back to
just bear with me. Let me find out who that is.
The other thing she was questioning.
Somebody's got their TV on. Today is not time for TV. We're on now. It's our turn. So once again, good evening and welcome to SaffronSACAP. My name is Giz Ojiako and I'm the Director for Programs. I'm going to ask my colleagues to please unmute themselves and introduce themselves. Marcia, if you'd like to unmute, please, and introduce yourself. Thank you.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to Saffron, another week. Thanks for joining us. We always love having you here. My name is Marcia Eliza. I'm the Director for Youth Engagement and Intervention and Life Coach.
Thank you so much, Marcia. Awesome. Thank you, Marcia. And if I could ask Yemi to please unmute and introduce us. Thank you very much.
Good.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Oh, I did it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. Good evening, everyone. And as Marcia set the ball rolling, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, somewhere in the world. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be an awesome evening. I'm going to seize this from Giz because this is her line, but I'm just going to say that we've been here for 4 weeks. This is our 4th week now, and it's just amazing to actually find people that have been with us right from the beginning. And as Giz says, once you join us once, you can't leave. You become family.
Yeah.
So she's teaching me, you know, she's my coach. She's the she's the media woman. But hey, I'm also going to be hosting everyone on Facebook. Please communicate with me, ask questions, share alike, and let's get everyone talking about these very important issues within our communities, our families, and our nations. Have a good evening. God bless.
Thank you, Yemi. So today, it's the last week of our disability segment. It has been awesome. It's been amazing. You know, we've shed light, we've listened to some amazing, I call them very amazing, inspirational people. And, you know, it's about, you know, we've always said at Saffron, you know, that we want to bridge the gap within the communities. And the people that we've had on in the past 4 weeks, they are doing that. They are exceeding expectations, and some of them are doing it in very, very challenged environments. So I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to each and every one of you. You are going to be, obviously, I'm going to unveil you very soon. Today, we're going to be talking about celebrating the heroes, because that's what these people are. They're heroes, you know, abilities in disability, you know. The fact that there is a disability, it does not take away your right to a decent livelihood. It does not take away your right, you know, to be able to excel, to be able to reach the top, to be able to peak, you know. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be celebrating. But before I go ahead, I want to recognize, you know, a few people in the house today. I'm a student, I'm still learning. So I have some of my mentors in the house, you know. I have people who I look up to because, you know, I'm, like I said, I'm a student and I'm still learning. So first and foremost, I want to introduce mine and Yemi's mentor. I can't praise this woman enough. She's probably going to tell me off, but you know, it doesn't matter. Auntie Ama Anane Ajay is on. Auntie Ama, good evening. Thank you so much for coming on, for always supporting. Auntie Ama is mine and Yemi's mentor.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I thought you wouldn't see me this evening.
I've seen you. I got 4 eyes, Auntie Amma. I can see everything.
I know. You are a twin, indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Auntie Amma. Good evening.
Good evening, darling.
Good evening, Auntie Amma.
Thank you. We want to also introduce Auntie Victoria. Auntie Victoria is on her iPad, as she always is every evening. Good evening, Auntie Victoria. She's shaking her head. It's fine. You don't have to unmute, but we just want to recognize you and say thank you because of all the support you give to Saffron. We can't do this alone, and it's not us working alone, and we don't for any reason, you know, think it is only us. So these are the 2 ladies I wanted to recognize. Auntie Grace Alexander is on tonight. I know this is a face that you've been seeing. This is an amazing, amazing woman. Auntie Grace, good evening. Would you like to into the house? I don't know if I think she's frozen. Yes, Zoom is misbehaving tonight. There seems to be, can you hear us, Auntie Grace?
No, I think it's frozen.
No? Okay, it's frozen. It's not a problem because we can always come back to Auntie Grace. And just for those of you who are not aware, Auntie Grace is the proprietor of the Star Children's Development Initiative, and they are doing amazing things in the United Kingdom and in Nigeria for children with disabilities. So Auntie Grace, at this point, we just want to say thank you for everything you do, for your passion. We learn so much from you. So God bless you. Now, I'm going to hand over to Madame Olajumoke Otituloju because I would like her to introduce her guests because she will do it more justice than myself. So, Madam, I'm going to ask you to, first of all, I want to welcome you and say to you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mrs. Otituloju is the proprietor of Iyaniwura Children Care Foundation, based in Nigeria, doing awesome things as well. In a very challenged environment, but she's doing so well. So if you would like to unmute and introduce, I know you have a few guests in the house that you brought. We want to say thank you for doing that, and introduce your family. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, everywhere in the world. This has already introduced me, and I don't think I need to anybody in the house anymore. Today's topic is ability and disability. Wow. And unfortunately, it's the last session for the month of March. I hope you schedule another month for disability. For this ability and disability, there's so much to talk about. But I don't want to talk about it alone. I want people that are in this shoes to talk. There's something we say in Nigeria, nothing for us without us. And that is what we say in our disability cluster. Anything you want to say about us, you must include us. You must be part of it. And that's why I've invited 3 of my friends, my sisters, my brothers, my son, advocate for people with intellectual disability. They're doing so well, doing great in their various professions. I have Mr. Biloba Ajayi. Mr. Biloba Ajayi has a master's in international law. She's a lady with cerebral palsy, and she's also an advocate for children with advocate for education of children with disability. I also have here tonight Mr. Wale Dada. Mr. Wale Dada is my friend, my brother. He's also a champion, a cerebral palsy champion. I have my son on board on the screen also, Master Adebolu Adejobi. His mom was here with us 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I want Bolu to come on board and tell us more what if disability is just a body image or if there is more to it. I have Mr. Shegun Joseph. He was here last week. He's the president of SIDA. That's another area where intellectual disability is tapping into sports. SIDA is sports initiative for differently able. So they're going to tell us more on ability in disabilities. Thank you very much, everyone.
Wow.
Thank you so much. So I don't know who you let them know who will take the floor first.
I give that to Saffron.
That's
All of
okay.
them.
So I'm going to, okay, that's fine. I'm going to call on, first of all, I think I would want to call on Mr. Shegun Joseph from SIDA because he was on last week. Good evening, sir. If you'd like to unmute. You're still on mute, yeah. If you, let me get you to. Okay, if you'd like to, there you go. Good evening, welcome.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome back to the platform. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Let me use the same style. Good morning, good afternoon. Good... Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very, very much. And celebrating our heroes, the theme of today's discussion, honestly, it's heartwarming. Because when people who have been looked down upon, rejected, stigmatized, who have been cut off from every form of life existence could still be celebrated, it goes a long way. And while somebody like me would really want to appreciate that, is coming from my Bible background. We have one of our members by the poolside of Bethsaida, and he has nobody there to help him at all. And Jesus has to come all the way to help him out. That is how bad the situation of people who have disability. It's been, there are some cases as bad as having no one to help them. And now that people are beginning to notice their ability in their disability and begin to celebrate them. In fact, I'm sure God himself will be very happy for such gesture. Thank you very much. Now, talking about ability in disability, I would really not want to start with those areas of people who have achieved something that we can say, has done this, has done that, because their population is less than 1% of the population of people with disability. And by the time we have to wait until we discover them achieve something before we start celebrating them, about 99.9% of people with disability will be left out of the celebration. So I think if we want to celebrate our heroes, all of them are heroes. I don't know if anybody, I was privileged sometime to celebrate my birthday with the people with hearing impaired. I went with my friends, family, and all my rich guys. And when I took the microphone to pray, I told God to take away their ability to hear and give it to those people who are deaf, and to transfer their own deafness to my friends that I brought. And they all said, what kind of a prayer is that? I said, okay, I just want you to feel what they are going through in their situation. And for us to appreciate them, I want everybody to go and adopt one person. And you come back to the microphone and tell us what you're going to do to bless that life. And we're really ministered onto. So I think celebrating them, we have to first begin by accepting them for who they are, that they are very special. And if you don't accept them to be special, you might just ask God to make you go through what they are going through. Then you will know you cannot in any way want to be like them. They are special people, and that's why we call them special. And for anybody to want to come into their world, as a parent, I tell the parents, you are equally special. Because if not, you will not understand them. So if you want to be my coach, you must be a special person. You want to be a caregiver, you must be special, because you have to go into their world to have a little understanding of what they are going through and what they are feeling, so that you can now represent them in the area of their weakness. So the first time I gathered parents together to form the association, one of them said, Mr. Joseph, these people have taken away our happiness. That having these children, there's no reason to be happy. And I told them that the reason why we are here today is to make sure that we return that joy, that happiness back to the family, to the parents, to even these children, that we're trusting that God will help us turn around that disability to ability, and we'll begin to understand why God created them that way and begin to celebrate them. And we have really, really done well by first trying to return the dignity of the parents because of the shame that they have gone through having these children. Many homes have been torn apart, and you see single parents, single mothers everywhere. But today, we thank God, everybody is looking at it from this angle of celebrating them. And I remember my team, my slogan when I gather the parents together, it's celebrating our children and appreciating our parents. So everybody have an opportunity to begin to look at the positive side. So I have trained myself to celebrate them for who they are before we even spot the ability in them. Now, by the time we spot the ability in them, I look beyond just celebrating them, but making them reap the benefit of those abilities. Because it's so sad when you see some of our people with disability, especially people who are in the para sports, they will go to the world and win the medals, gold medals at international competitions like that. And they will come back home and still go back begging, go back to terrible lifestyle. That means the thing that is supposed to be celebrated in them was not even appreciated at all. So we're trying to sensitize even the government to see them, this ability in them, and try to use the victory to create a lifestyle for them that they will not have any reason to go back to poverty or go back to that difficult life they were living before they even become world champions. So I want to employ that everyone, you will make up your mind. It's not just to celebrate them because we say it is the theme for the discussion. You must make up that make up your mind. It's a conscious effort that I want to accept these people for who they are and begin to celebrate everything about them from the smile. Because some people's situation is so bad that they cannot do anything. They are bedridden. The only thing they can do is smile. And by the time they smile, you smile back, it brings a kind of a joy in the environment. It brings a kind of a happiness because these people are very, very sensitive. In their situation, they know people who are hostile and you shock them back into their world. But when you approach them with that friendly smile, they see that you are more of a friend to them. Something in them reacts and they want to express themselves. So it's very, very important that we begin to make that conscious effort to be their voice, be their leg, be their eyes, be their ears. Like I told in my own case, my daughter is autistic. I told my daughter that I want to take responsibility for her situation. Whatever she cannot do, I'll do it for her. Whatever she cannot do, if she cannot speak, I'll speak for her. If she cannot fight, I'll fight for her. Because my daughter must be proud of who she is, and she must be proud of me as a father. So anytime I go around and you look at my daughter anyhow, I'll come after you with everything I have. And then we realize that even in some cases, we just have to begin to, see these people from the point of ignorance and begin to see how we can communicate something to them the way they will join us in appreciating these people. Because the greatest challenge we have is the society, then the government. So by the time we begin to get back with their abilities into the society will begin to look at them from a different angle, and the celebration will increase, and then it will be effective. So for us in the sporting department, we know very well that sport is a very, very important weapon in the whole world. Sport brings enemies together. In Nigeria, when we are doing sport, we don't remember who is Igbo, Hausa, or Yoruba. All of us join together to want to celebrate, watch football, watch our athletes, and really, really be happy for them, celebrate them. So we brought this into the world of people with disability. And then to say, okay, let's now see that sport initiative for differently able. We don't want to use the word disabled because they do their own things differently. And therefore, we have to allow them take their time to express themselves their own way, and we begin to applaud whatever they are able to do. If we have to do a short walk and one has to take 1 hour to do that walk, we'll be clapping, celebrating, shouting, encouraging her or him until he completes that. So we are not competing, we are participating. And for every participant is a celebrity. So we celebrate them, and we are taking that message to the society, because society is the greatest challenge. If anybody has disability, it is the people around him that will make life either positive or negative, either good or bad for him or her. When you approach him and make things difficult, he sees life as very difficult. But when you go there and try to be supportive, he won't even remember he has any disability, because we have come into our world to share that disability with them. And by that, because we don't just celebrate, we must be in their life. We must be involved. Let our celebration be of helping them in every areas of their weakness, putting our strength in their own weaknesses, and then all of us can rejoice together and say, yes, we are building a better future for them. I think with that, I am sure we all catch the bug of celebration, and when we pass by them, we don't just look down there. We don't wait for them to even greet us, because they know you won't greet them, so you greet them. So we make the celebration an everyday thing. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. That was deep. That was deep, and that was very mind-blowing. And everybody know, people that know me know I'm a writer, and you said differently abled, not disabled. That crowned it for me. Yeah, they are different, but they are able. They just do things different. So when you're going to walk, 1 hour walk for them, 20 minutes for me. We will still celebrate them in that their 1 hour walk. Thank you so much. At this juncture, what we would love to do, SIDA, Sports Initiative for Differently Able, SIDA. SIDA is based in Nigeria, which is the initiative run by Mr. Shegun Joseph. At this point, we just want to show a short video, and then we, Saffron will be doing a presentation. So if you just bear with us while we'll do this, and then we will go on to the next two speakers to hear about their lives. Over to you, Yemi.
Thank you, darling.
My name is Shegun Joseph, the president of Sports Initiative for Differently Able. Differently able in the sense that we don't want to use disabled. We're looking at the ability in people with intellectual disability. So we're using differently able because they do their own things differently. So we are here today. We're trying to organize a training session for people with intellectual disability. We want to use sports to create a lifestyle for them because majority of them have gone to school, they've learned some skill acquisition, but the society is not even ready to accept them through that. So we want to use sports to create a lifestyle for them, something to keep them active, keep them busy. Today, we're trying to introduce them to table tennis and badminton. So we have our coaches here, we have our parents here. If you look at the background, we're trying to try many of them to see which game that we can use to identify them with. You know, some of our children has participated in many Special Olympic World Games. I have a 27-year-old daughter who is a badminton champion. She has represented Nigeria in 2 World Games, winning gold medal, silver and bronze in the doubles. But today, we want to make something that the ordinary parents, the indigent parents can connect with so that many of these children will start sports early and then we'll be able to create training activities for them around the year. In fact, I'm so amazed and I'm sure my coaches are so proud. Above all, the parents too will be so happy to see that for the first time, their children, some of them has never held a badminton racket or table tennis bat before, but they're coming here for the first time now. With the abilities of the coaches, we can discover some of them who can just make some little move. We're all happy because I'm going to go back now and meet my coaches. How many of these children do you see can do table tennis? Do you see can do, that will separate them and begin to create training, regular training opportunities for them. So I'm very happy with what we have started today. For parents who have these children, this is better than locking the children back at home. We want to encourage the parents to bring their children here. I'm sure many of the parents here today are happy to see that their children can even attempt something like this. Now, you will notice now that for the number of hours that they are here, the parents can relax because they are traumatized too. Having these children is not easy. Majority of them are under severe pressure. You understand? So with sports, they can relax while their children are trying to, do sports. It's been so difficult because the sporting authorities, the sporting federations at the federal level or the authorities at the state level, they don't recognize people with intellectual disability. So we are never captured in their activities. So we're trying to get them to see what our children can do. And that's why we are here today. And with this, we think we are making a statement that the people in authority can see the importance of sport for people with intellectual disability and begin to accept them. And we're trying to make a clear statement. The government only recognizes para sports, people with physical disability. They have their own Olympics. They can't put us under para. Our children cannot be competing with the deaf or with the physically challenged. We want to create an environment where they can compete among themselves. In fact, people with intellectual disability are not competing. They're only participating. We want them to enjoy what they are doing. They are very slow to everything. So we want them to take their time to develop. We're using this to discover what kind of sports they can do. Then we're hoping the authorities will see what we're doing today and help us create an environment where training can be possible for them all around the year.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Yemi. So yes, everybody, that was CEDA. So we can all see the amazing work CEDA is doing. And we would like to just mention, on behalf of Saffron, we want to celebrate all of CEDA's heroes. And we would like to do this with a donation of basketballs, which have been sent already. I believe they're already in Lagos. And this is just our way of celebrating the CEDA champion. So Mr. Shegun, on behalf of Saffron, please accept these gifts. And if there is anybody who would like to donate to CEDA, we will be putting Saffron's email in the chat, and you can email us, and we will make sure that your donations reach CEDA. So thank you so much. Thanks, Yem, for that. Okay, so yeah, that's on behalf of Saffron to CEDA, and keep doing the amazing work. We will be following you closely to see, you know, we're very interested. Love the passion, love what you're doing, and it's needed. You guys are amazing. Okay, at this juncture, I'm going to ask, is that Miss Yinka Ayandele to please unmute?
Hold on, I think Mrs. Otitoloju is actually bouncing the basketball.
Is she bouncing?
Wow, I have been in the meeting all through the day. I got to the office at about 5:36,
okay.
And I met this amazing parcel in the office. Mrs. Otitoloju is the project coordinator for CEDA, and this was brought to our office because we share the same office with CEDA, and I'm just opening it. Thank you so much, Saffron. We have acknowledged the receipt of the basketball, and you will hear from us very soon. Thank you very much. A round of applause to Saffron, please.
Thank you, Mom.
Okay, I think I must have gone on. Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much. So at this juncture, I think we can now ask, is that Mrs. Yinka Ayandele to unmute, please?
Right.
Good
afternoon, everyone on the platform. It's a pleasure joining you. Well, I am a friend of Saffron, and it's always a pleasure to be of one assistance or the other. And I must say that the CEDA presentation is not only impressive, it's quite emotional for me. And it's quite, it has actually exposed me to other aspects that I haven't looked into. And I was thinking in my mind that come tomorrow, I just have to pencil down one or two things so that those around me, I mean, within the community that I serve, especially those that have do things differently. I think I love that phrase, different abilities or doing things differently. Yeah, that we look more closely into activities to ensure that we are giving them full support and of course celebrating them. Just like this CEDA person mentioned, it is not only when they make an achievement that we celebrate. I very much agree with that, but that for every attempt made by them, and we also appreciate the parents. So I applaud everyone on this platform, well done. And I want to also make my own widow's mite, my little donation. I'm sure they might not want more basketballs, but if SIDA can forward few items needed for sports, I think that is awesome. And I would love to make a donation of sporting equipment of about $200,000 naira. Sorry, 200,000 naira.
Awesome.
Whoa, awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank
Please
you.
meet yourself and clap. Oh my days.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. It is true, you've been a friend of Saffron right from the initial 2015. I remember you were at our first conference at Sheraton in October 2015. So thank you so much, ma'am, for continuing to walk with us on this journey. And may God bless your pockets every angle in every way. Thank you so much, ma'am. God bless you.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Shegun, you know, it's you that will say what exactly it is CEDA, you know, will require. So, you know, we can do that off camera, you know, behind the scenes. We can obviously get in touch with you. But I don't know if you have any words you would like to say before we move on to our next speakers.
Oh, wow. I think my appreciation will just start with Yanewura herself for bringing me this opportunity to be talking to, I mean, at this level. I really want to appreciate that on behalf of all our children, the parents, the coaches, the caregivers, the happy family that we are. I see that because sport is a very happy thing. It's a very lively thing. And then for these donations, honestly, this is the first of its kind. We have been doing it our own way just to make a statement. And then we have even more than enough hands to handle, because a lot of parents see it as an opportunity to bring down their children. They just want to see everybody happy, to be part of that happy family. So this donation will go a long way, because we are not just Lagos based. Other states have been reaching out to us. They want to know how we can extend search to them. And we are coming to England too, because there is our international federation is based in England. And we're hoping that by the time we get registered with them, our children will be coming down to England and other parts of the world for participating in, because we want to make it purely intellectual disability, no mixture. Don't bring able-bodied people to come and take the place of these innocent children. So we're really working hard, and we really appreciate that help. And this is the help that I really love, because money is very good, but the personality is the best. So please, ma, I appreciate your donation, but I really want you to join us in what we are doing. We're trying to create the matrons and patrons board so that we'll have a large household being part of what we're doing, so that we can even come to your community too and extend the sporting activities there too, to reach out, because we have to take it closer to everybody in their neighborhood. They can't be coming to the center. So thank you very much. God bless you. And I'm already smiling. Our next competition. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you. Okay, Yemi, I'm going to hand over to you to introduce the next couple of guests. Yeah.
Okay. Well, where do I start? Should we ask Auntie Grace to speak? And because I believe her screen froze earlier on. Auntie Grace, are you there? Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. We were saying hello to you earlier on, wanted you to speak and introduce yourself properly, but your screen froze earlier on.
Yeah.
Please say hello to us, say hello to our guests, and
Hello, everyone. Thank you for
you.
inviting me.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, we're listening to you.
Ah. Anyway, like I've been following this thing for the past 1 month, and you know exactly what I do. I'm also a proud mother of a young man, my last son, who is 26, is the inspiration behind Star Children Development Initiative. And one of the things we do is to promote equality and social justice for persons with disability globally. So not only in Nigeria, we've done a lot in London. We've actually, part of it is promoting capacity building, promoting inclusive education, and promoting accessibility to health and welfare. And one of the things which we also do is to make sure they're safe, and most importantly, and because of my experience as a qualified social worker in England, and because of the fact that I'm raising a son, and because of the fact a young man who has disability, who has actually defined my world, to see the world in a different light, to see that, who is this? To say that everybody has abilities. So today we are focusing on what abilities. One of the things is that we have forum for entrepreneurs. We have forum for youths where we are raising champions. We are raising leaders. And one of the things we are actually committed to as an organization is systemic change through community-based services, through capacity building, which I mean, part of professional development and personal growth. And we've been working with some high profile people in Nigeria because I believe in systemic change. I believe that people with disability have been faced with a lot of, they faced a lot of what we call myths, stereotypes, stigma that are associated with disability, and thinking even that they are not productive. They are productive. They've got talents. They've got talents. They've got abilities. They've got skills. They've got competencies, and I can testify to that. And one thing people have to realize is that every human being, we are not the same. Even if you are from the same parents, we are not the same. Our brains are wired differently. So the way we do things are quite different. The way our talents are quite different. The way we talk, the way we speak, the way we see the world are quite different. So I really appreciate the fact that we are celebrating the world. And I would like to actually appreciate the man that the CEO of SIDA, who's, I think I've heard the name somewhere, but I've not really met him, and what she's doing. And it takes a real father, because most fathers will run for cover. When they have a child with disability, they will run for cover. But what I'm saying is that seeing the possibilities, the world of possibility, even in your own challenge, harnessing that pain, harnessing those challenges, seeing the bigger picture. And you see that raising a child with disability can actually make a lot of difference if you are not bugged by the weaknesses, if we are not bugged by the stigmas, if we are not bugged. And one thing I usually say about a fact is that no matter how complex a child is, they have abilities. If a child can recognize your mother, that you are his mother, even with the eye contact, even with the eye, he uses the eye to talk. That means they have the capacity to learn. That's another fact. They have capacity to learn. They have capacity to learn. I am saying this from my experience. And I know my son is very intelligent. My son is very brilliant. And then he has this self-confidence. And like one of the parents in the show mentioned, one of the things is acceptance.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sure she will come back. It's a slight ditch. It's Grace, can you hear us? Okay.
Believe it's frozen again.
Yeah, it's frozen again. Okay.
Okay, so let's revert back to Mrs. Otitoloju. We just really needed her to Auntie Grace to speak and say hello before we continue. So Mr. Toloju, please, can you introduce the next guest and we'll move.
Okay, our next guest is Toby Loba Ajayi. Toby Loba Ajayi is, sorry. Can you hear me?
We can. So, Mrs. Ajayi, would you like to unmute and take the floor? We are unable to hear you, but I'm sure you can hear us. Okay, do you want to speak? Okay. Go ahead.
Can everyone hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Okay.
And thank you for having me. Sorry, it's been a long day, so my eyes are beginning to glaze over. Yeah, since we're all in different parts of the world, it's probably afternoon for some people. So so right now I'm trying to figure out where I'm supposed to start this from, but let me first take a cue, probably from where Mr. Shegun Joseph stopped. So a lot of the times I hear a lot of parents use, I mean, yes, I was also going to, allude to something Mrs. Estolo just said about, it's actually the statement, nothing for us without us, is actually a UN statement. It's not a Nigerian statement. It's a UN statement for making sure that when we're planning for people with disabilities, we're planning with them, not for them. You see, that thing, it's almost an assumption of, there's almost this assumption of being incapable that we see when other people, and when I say other people, this includes parents, caregivers, government, whatever, talk about people with disabilities, like they do not have agency. It's almost like you're not supposed to be able to have a say about what happens to you, or what, about the things that you want to do with your life. So, and I understand it's an ableist way of thinking. It's this thing of assuming that a disability means a lack of ability to even, make basic choices. And when we raise children with disabilities thinking that all decisions are made for them, they grow up into adults with disabilities who can't make decisions, and so it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy when we say, oh, they're not able to make decisions. It's because they were never taught or given the chance to be able to exercise agency. So people say, well, what about kids that are non-verbal, or kids that are not able, they're not able to move around? Like Mrs. Alexandra was saying, if a child is able to recognize he's a parent, or can communicate through body language, or through even just a smile, then they can make choices. It starts from simple things like, what do you want to wear today? I mean, if you had a typical child that was 3 years old, they're probably already making choices about what they want to wear. You're picking out a dress and your 3-year-old daughter is throwing it back and picking out something else. I mean, that's something we see in toddlers all the time. They're already showing the fact that they want to make choices, even though sometimes they then pick the colors and you're like, which kind of color are this? Like, you can't wear this. These colors are conflicting. But what that says is that even though the child probably doesn't understand, color combinations, the child has preferences. And smart is the parent who, allows their children, even from that early age, to begin to express those preferences. And so we should not, under the guise of disability, exclude people with disabilities from making choices about their own lives. So when when I hear stuff like, so for instance, I'm one of the people who can't stand the term differently abled. I feel like it's an ableist way of thinking. Disabled is not a bad word. It is a way of doing life. I mean, it's not it's not a bad, so because the reason why we keep trying to sugarcoat it, we use terms like differently abled, special needs, special, and all of those things, is that somehow we think that disabled is somehow a bad word that we need to expunge. Again, that's not something that people with disabilities themselves would say. It's something that somebody that's on the outside looking in is saying based on their own perception of disability, because disability in itself is a different way of doing, it's just a way of doing life. Like Ms. Alexandra said, even those of us who think that we're typical, we're not the same. I mean, every single person on this call is different. The things that you like, the way that you process information, the way that you want, the things you want to eat, the things you want to wear, they're different. And we're not busy trying to sugarcoat it in different words. We're just accepting difference. We're accepting that we're not going to be the same. And that's the same thing with being disabled, right? It's a different way of doing life. It's not a bad way of doing life. It's just a different way of doing life. And when we see it that way and stop looking at disability as a tragedy instead and just accept it as a difference, then we can then begin to treat people with disabilities with the respect that they deserve to be treated with. But as long as we keep looking at people with disabilities as quote unquote, for lack of a better word, the unfortunate one, we will keep, looking at disability from the perspective of charity, and there will continue to be a lot of patronizing language around disability issues. And these are things we really need to throw away if we're going to get to that place of actual acceptance, which is where we want to go. So now that I have gotten that spiel off my chest, I'm going to properly introduce myself. My name is Tobila Bajayi, and I run an organization called Let Cerebral Palsy Kids Learn Foundation. Kind of speaks for itself. It's an organization that promotes inclusive mainstream education for children with cerebral palsy in Nigeria. I started this in 2017 after finding out in 2016, almost by accident actually, that the school system in Nigeria was excluding children with cerebral palsy, especially from school. I mean, so it was a blatant expulsion. It was the kind of expulsion where a parent, at whatever age, takes their child to school and tries to start the enrollment process. And schools just say to the parent point blank, oh, we don't take children like this here. I mean, and when I realized that, knowing that cerebral palsy is not an intellectual disability, it is an orthopedic disability that affects muscles, I was a bit confused, especially because cerebral palsy is the most common childhood disability in the world, Nigeria not excluded. I looked at the data as at 2016, and 1 in every 90 children that's born in Nigeria is diagnosed with cerebral palsy. So my question was, if we're diagnosing almost 50,000 children with cerebral palsy every year, and schools are refusing to allow these kids get an education, what exactly is our plan? Because I just wasn't, I couldn't wrap my head around. I couldn't wrap my head around that, because I extrapolated it to 10 years, and that looked like 500,000 children not being able to get an education. And my friends will remember me not just being able to sleep. It literally kept me up at night. And the good thing for me is that I was raised in a family that does not believe in whining. So the more that I whined about it, everybody around me said, if you're this concerned, then you should do something about it. And that's how the Let's Cerebral Palsy Kids Learn Foundation was born. We're going to be 4 tomorrow, interestingly. And in the last 4 years, we've seen over 400 families raising children with cerebral palsy. We have actually helped about 100 of those families get their children into mainstream education in Nigeria. Some of our kids are actually going into secondary school now, believe it or not. Now I'm beginning to feel old because I'm looking at these kids and I'm thinking, wait, how are you already going to secondary school? But hey, again, and they continue to blow my mind. I mean, just before I got on this call, I was on a call with a parent who was telling me about her 4-year-old son who just started school this term and came back from school and called his brother beggy, which is basically Nigerian slang for you beg too much. I mean, this is a kid whose mother kept, crying to me like, oh, he's not speaking. And I kept saying, your child's ability to learn is not tied to his ability to speak. So you need to basically stop, stop fixating on, while I understand the need for speech therapy, that's not supposed to be a reason to keep your child out of school. And today, I mean, she's calling me saying, can you imagine your son comes back from school and the only thing he has learned is how to abuse somebody? And I was like, well, that's a good place to start. At least he knows how to defend himself if somebody says something doesn't like to him. I mean, and for me, those are the stories that warm my heart and tell me that I'm doing something right for the next generation of children with cerebral palsy. Of course, I have cerebral palsy myself, and I hold both a first and master's degree in law. My master's degree is in international law, and I'm a published author of 5 books. And then, of course, I also run my own organization. Of course, after also holding down jobs across different countries, including the UK. But I know this from experience that this is possible, especially for children with cerebral palsy. So, and that has influenced my work and influenced the work that I do with parents, because I know that because we live in a society that stigmatizes disability, it's very easy to sit down and create, I mean, and this is how I say it, what we don't understand as a people, we stigmatize, right? So when, I mean, and because cerebral palsy is so individualistic, it's like you can line up 15 kids who have the same diagnosis. I mean, and you will see 15 different things. You will be listening to my, I like to call it my brother, Lawali Dada, soon on this call, and you see how different we are. We both have the same diagnosis, right? We both have cerebral palsy, but we will need different things. And so that confuses people who don't fully understand how both of you can have the same condition and you're so different, right? So over time, people have stigmatized what they did not understand. And as a result, too many children like me had fallen through the cracks. And so I said to myself that, even if it was one child that I could help, I was going to. And it's been, interestingly, 4 years. This is my 5th calendar year of doing this, and obviously not stopping anytime soon. So it's important that, like, Ms. Alexandra already said a lot of things I was going to say. It's important that we see people first. I think that's one of the big lessons that I teach whenever I teach teachers, whenever I train teachers on inclusive education. I tell them that I need the only way you're going to be able to teach the children in your classroom is if you see the child first. A lot of the times we're so busy looking at disability, he can't do anything for himself. I cannot count how many conversations I've started like that with parents. He can't do anything for himself. But by the time I dig deep, the child that can't do anything for himself is actually able to do, like, I can actually, then I'm done with the conversation and we can list 5 things that child is able to do. And the only reason why you started the conversation saying your child can't do anything is that you're so fixated on what the child isn't doing, and you're missing out on everything the child can do. So it's very important that we see people first and then deal with people, not with disability. Well, I'm not saying that we need to live in denial. I'm saying that we need to see people, because when we see people, their disability become an aside, and then we're able to think about how to, make because again, it's not the disability that is the problem. It's the way that it's society that makes disability a problem. And I'll give you an example. So I went to school in Nigeria, and it was hard, right? My parents had to, the amount of safety nets my parents had to put in place for me to graduate uni in Nigeria was, now that I think about it, it was mind-boggling. Man, parents are amazing people. It was mind-boggling. It was crazy. The amount of safety nets they had to put in place just so that my inherent intelligence could shine through and I could pass the bar. It was something else. And then I went to grad school in England. And I was like, wait, what? I mean, I could actually take the bus I mean, that was a thing that would never happen in Lagos. Like, there was no magic under which I would take a public bus with several buses in Lagos. And it's not going to work. But I got to England, and because England had created an environment that worked, my disability suddenly was no longer a problem. Listen, disability didn't disappear. It's still there. But because the society worked, my disability stopped being a hindrance. Because, hey, the bus driver sees me and he's already lowering the platform. He's going to wait till I sit down before the bus moves. He's going to let me get off the bus before the bus moves and I get to my stop. So when you put all of those things in place, you realize that it's society that is disabling. It's not really the condition, because like I said, disability is a different way of doing life. And when society accounts for the different ways we all do life, then we realize that the disability doesn't become a problem. So for instance, I mean, I got to grad school and there was all of these things about we're using computers for everything. So I started having issues with the glare of the screen. So I started getting these migraines. And so I then spoke to, and the school had a disability office. So they called me into a meeting to say, how is it going? And I said, oh yes, I'm having issues with the glare. And they basically said to my lecturers, oh, she needs to tape our lectures and she needs to sit in a no glare area in class. Society accommodating for the different way that I did life meant that immediately those things stopped being problems. So again, my disability wasn't the problem. It was just the society that wasn't accommodating for it. And the minute the society started accommodating for it, I stopped being the problem. And, hey, here we go. Awesome. In record time, I finished my master's. So we need to think around, disability in a different, instead of, because every time that I hear it shifted to the person with a disability, I'm like, I don't think we're getting the memo. First of all, we always say that the disability community is the easiest community to join.
All right, what we're going to do, Toby, what I would like to do, you said your brother is on, and it would be amazing to get his perspective as well. But before we do, I'm going to cross over to Auntie Grace Alexander, who was cut off. Hold that thought. Just park your thoughts for a bit. We're going to cross over to Auntie Grace, and then I'm sure the house would like to hear, because you said there was a statement that you're both very different and you come from
yes, we are
beautiful. So it would be amazing. So just park your thoughts for a while. It's been very insightful and amazing. And please, if you'd like to type in the chat the name of your organization so that people, because it came up fast, we didn't really catch it. That would be awesome. Auntie Grace, if you'd like to unmute yourself, please.
Yeah.
Lost you for a bit.
Okay, sorry. It's the internet that is playing up.
Not a problem.
It's the internet that is playing up. So, hello, Toby Loba. How are you? So nice seeing you on this show. So anyway, what I was talking about, the fact that for us to actually appreciate people's disabilities, there are so many things we have to consider. There is one of the things is that how do we adopt the model of social disability model, which means that which says that everybody must be given like a reasonable adjustment so that there can be interaction between their impairment and their environment. The first time I first of all spoke on your show with regards to disability for this event, I mentioned about the difference. I mentioned about the school of thought that like WHO, who defined disability as lack of interaction between your impairment and your contextual factors. So apparently disability then can be a thing of the mind too. Can be a thing of the mind. And one thing we can't forget is that people with disability have talents. People think they are productive. The government did not realize that they are losing a lot of income in regards to GDP. They are losing a lot of income. If you know the amount of people who are living with disability, who are involved, who are entrepreneurs, I can say that because I have a forum for that, and they are doing exceedingly well. So And one of the things is that everybody has got ability. It's only that some abilities, most abilities will require what I'll call an assimilation or accommodation for them to be able to do things like their non-disabled peers. And one of the things is that, like my son, his abilities are so amazing that it's beyond my comprehension. And one of the things is that there is nothing, even as leaders, the fact that one of the things that is militating, even when as like what I choose to challenge this year, the Women's Day, International Women's Day celebration, was disabled women with disability in leadership, is the fact that they believe they cannot lead. And the concept of ableism, that is, the society construct, these are the ways we have to do things. They don't think, the society does not think that people can do things differently. So there has to be a kind of change in narratives for the society to actually appreciate a lot of things. When it comes to decision making, when it comes to decision that concerns them, they have to be put at the table. They have to be at the table to contribute. So they don't think they have this thing. They don't think they are productive. They don't think they can lead. They don't think they can do things. They don't think they have talents. So they are losing a lot. Like if you employ somebody with disability, the advantages are so numerous. One, they are loyal. Two, they are creative, they are innovative, they do things differently, but that can add to the organization prestige as well. So it's about I know some of, like I have one of my entrepreneurs who is actually into oil. If I can call her, if you don't mind, she is Azomta Khalil. She's the coordinator of empowering women start children initiative. So is Azomta there, please? Hello.
Azomta, would you like to unmute? Yeah?
Hello.
Yes, I just unmute my network is really bad here. It's been taking me off and on.
And is it possible to show some of the oil that you produce?
Okay, ma. Let me show them. I can send pictures and okay, let me put it on video. I'm not winning anything, Jesus. Okay. This is it. People put it on video. No. This is video. So sorry. This is one of my oil. It's coconut oil. I don't know if you can see. Sorry, I'm not wearing anything. Can you see it, everybody?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, this is my product. I make them.
Send some pictures to Auntie Grace, and if she forwards them to me, I'll be able to post them up for us to see.
And
Yeah?
we have blind people. We have blind people. We have who are caterers. And they're doing fantastic. We have people who are one of my directors, Dr. Ife, an excellent man who can sing, who is able to do some things, attention to detail. So Nigeria is really losing a lot of human capital. And unfortunately, because of that belief, because of that narrative, and because of the concept of ableism, they don't actually, the opportunities for actually training them are not there. Opportunity of actually tapping into their skills, into their talents, into their skills and competencies are not there until the government puts a lot of structure in place to start concentrating on what they can do, and having the mind that people with disability, our brain as human beings, not only people with disability, because there are some people with hidden disability and they're fantastic. They are doing very well. Some people might take a long time to process an information. It doesn't mean they will not deliver results. People like, there's some entrepreneurs like Virgin Atlantic. he has disability. He has learning disability, and he's got dyslexia. And Microsoft too dropped out of university, and can you see what they're doing? So we have people that are lawyers. Look at Tobiloba, has cerebral palsy, and she is doing fantastic. So they should actually celebrate their opportunities. And I will use this opportunity to say that parents, if you are having a child with special needs, please concentrate on what they can do. There was a man when I was made the chairperson of International Day for Persons with Disability in 2013. There was one man, the child was not functioning in the mainstream school. The man was looking for what will actually interest her daughter, her son. Did you realize that this child is making money from playing drums in churches, in events? And they realized that she has more than 100% concentration, because they were thinking he was suffering from DHD, but the child was crying because she couldn't cope in the mainstream school. So it's high time we develop our children's abilities, concentrate on their strengths, instead of enjoy the diverse opportunities when it's called abilities. Let us enjoy those abilities instead of just concentrating on what they can't do because you want them to be like your next door neighbor, or like his brother, or like his sister who is doing fantastic in academics. But we have to change our mind to know that when it comes to being intelligent and smart, it doesn't have anything to do with academics. They have the capacity to think. They have the capacity to make choices. They have the capacity to have emotions. And all these things should actually be celebrated. So we have fantastic people doing fantastic things. And I've seen a man, I did an event in Lagos about 5 years ago, and there was a man who spoke. It's about people that's talking about promoting employability, inclusive growth. And this man this man is living with a cerebral palsy. And do you realize, ask me what is his job? He's a marketing man, and he demonstrated. So you don't need to speak fluently. You don't need to speak like the other person, because before you can show what you do. Technology has made a lot of things easier. You can show pictures. Some people can function with pictures. Some people can function with object of reference. You understand? So part of it is to enable our children with disability to excel in what they are strong at, to excel in what they can do, not forcing them to be like your next door child, to be like his brother, because every child is different and every child really matters.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Auntie Grace. And at that juncture, we would like to call on Olawale Dada to take the floor. You were already introduced by your sister. Are you there? I'm going to ask you to unmute. Are you there? I'm getting a chat. Are you there?
I believe he is.
Yes, okay. Would you like to unmute yourself? Okay. Oh, good evening.
Yes, I'm here now. Good day, good afternoon, good night. Wherever you are hearing from. I hope you can hear me.
It's a bit distorted. I don't know if you've gone off. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. Are you back? Okay. Try again. Try again. It's a bit distorted, but we do want to hear from. Yeah, the connection is very poor. Oh.
Like, let me just build on God.
While you sort yourself out, we'll go to Adejobi Oluwatoyin. While you're sorting yourself out, Mr. Dada, we're going to just, I'll put you on mute. And if I ask, are you able? Okay. We have to appreciate that they are speaking to us from Nigeria. And we do have connection issues, which is really sad, but it's one of those things. So let's just be a little bit patient. Are you able to? Do you want to try again? No, he's now frozen. Do you want to try again? Oh. Okay. Okay. Adejobi, are you okay to speak now? Would you like me to unmute you? No? Okay. All right. It's fine. We'll move on from that, because obviously because of connection issues, you know, we're celebrating them today. We're celebrating everybody under this umbrella. Yeah, hello. Yeah, it doesn't look like yeah, it's not gonna happen. We can't hear you.
Can Mrs. Otitoloju actually fill us in and just introduce, I guess?
I'm on my way home. Hello, can I call Bolu? Are you there? Bolu or not Joby, are you there?
Yes, ma. I'm here, ma.
Okay,
The reception
can you
is
unmute
just
and
poor.
introduce yourself?
Yes, ma. Ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, introduce yourself. It's your turn to talk now.
Okay. Good day, everybody in the house. My name is Bolu Adebolu. I am 18 years old and I'm in SS3 science class, to be precise. I attend a public school in Nigeria, and I've been hearing a lot of things that you people say. And yes, being a child with disability is actually not a limit to me, but a stepping stone among my peers and my friends in class. Because when I see some things, I'll be like, yes, I've read on this before. Because like biology, when it's just brain and central nervous system, I'll be like, yes, this is what's wrong with me. But whenever my knowledge, this thing I have is, I wish our parents can be educated in early intervention for children with disabilities, because it will go a long way in helping them a lot. And I can take myself from anywhere in Lagos State to any places. I don't need anybody to move with me. Yet I have cerebral palsy. I don't take it as I don't take my disability as something that should hold me down. Neither should anybody or their parents should do the same. Because once you think about how you are today, it'll pull you down and you'll be recessive in your development. Being a child with cerebral palsy is like a God want for me. Because with my special ability, as I like to call it, has been a great, tremendous achievement to me. And even with this, a lot of people are inspired just by me walking in the street. And I can see that if I can continue this way, a lot of people will be helped in the way they ought to be, not kept in their houses. I learned that sports can actually help me, and a lot of things can help me. But my own concern is not just only me. There are thousands and millions of children out there with disability. My only want is that educate the parents in early intervention so that at the time they grow up, they'll be able to use and control themselves and be of a great benefit to the society as well. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. That was amazing, Adejobi. Thank you. And you said you're walking, so be safe. I can see
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
All right. You have a good evening. Thank you so much for that. I love how you said early intervention, and that is a key word for us over here. If you don't catch it at the onset, trying to get it, some steps down the way, it's not necessarily too late, but you miss out on some vital areas, So that early intervention that Adejobi spoke about, is amazing. Thank you so much for that. Very, very, very good insight.
Thank
I
you.
don't know if we can go back to Olawale because of the connection. We'll probably try.
Try. Because it's really all about them this
It
evening.
is. It's about you guys. Yeah, we want to hear from you. We're celebrating all of you today. Okay, Olawale, go ahead. No.
No? Oh, it's a shame.
Good day, everybody.
Good day.
Good day.
Yeah, me now. To be here.
It's nice to have you.
So, well, I'm not living with cerebral palsy. I'm married with a kid. I'm a graduate of international law and diplomacy, a writer and internet sales agent. Basically, for me, I believe not only in ability and disability. In fact, I don't like saying ability and disability because in Nigeria, when you say ability and disability, they are looking at us for the realm of that person that can make beats, that can bake, that can, like say, graduate, but beyond that, there are special abilities in us. In fact, earlier during my time when I was not so sure about myself, one thing I got to like an inspiration from God was like, look, every feature has a unique ability. Like the shark. The shark is not the sight of the shark is not perfectly okay. But we don't focus on that because what we focus on is the strength of the shark. You don't because of the visual inability of the shark. You go swimming in the ocean. Like there's a shark or you go swimming in the swamp.
Okay.
The problem actually senses with the tail. What that is visually sharp. But we all come to respect the culture. We dread the scorpion because we've been able to focus our attention on the ability of the scorpion. So for me, this is what I'm trying to bring to us persons with disability. Let the focus be on our special ability.
Okay.
And like Ms. Grace has said, we all have special ability. For me as a writer, I like to have an autistic person as a staff. Why? Because my little understanding of an autistic person is that they have excellent.
Hello, can cut in
ability.
there. Can I just cut in there? Olawale, I'm going to cut in for a second. You have been dropping some amazing nuggets, but unfortunately, the communication is so bad. So, you know, what I'm going to ask you to do, because we do want to hear what you have to say. We will be running another segment. We will ask that you do come back. In the meantime, if you have access to the chat, please type in the chat. We can pick it up and we can then post and or read out what it is you're trying to say. So there were some amazing, you know, nuggets that you dropped. Please, please, please post in the chat because of the distortion. And, you know, thank you so much for even coming on. You know, this is not your problem. This is network. It is what it is. But, you know, thank you. And we still celebrate you and your family this evening. So once again, on behalf of Saffron, thank you for coming on. Oh, wow. Network. What can I say? What can I say? But, you know, yeah, I think,
you know, I picked him from him special abilities and not to dwell on ability in disability.
Yeah.
I think that was awesome.
And he said to also to focus on the strength of the child. And I think that has been a common theme this evening, because even Mr. Shegun Joseph from CEDA said the same thing. Auntie Grace has been saying the same thing, you know, that if the child can recognize you, then the child has a you know, ability, you know, to learn something. So it's about focusing on their strengths. Let's not look at the weaknesses, you know. Yes. And you build upon their strengths. So that was amazing. Let me see what's in the chat before we progress.
Something else he actually said, and I've just typed them in a Facebook page as he was dropping the nuggets, as you call them, was also every creature has a unique ability.
Yes.
That I just could not resist putting down, and that's just the fact. So if every creature has a unique ability, then why not focus on that ability and build it and use it to bring that person to light?
Yeah.
We've had some real nuggets. I just couldn't resist typing them.
That's fine. We want to call on Mr. Rahim Yusuf. If you'd like to unmute yourself, please, you are welcome. Let's see.
Thank you very much. One of our entrepreneurs.
Yes.
As well, who is in charge of the Minds group. So if you can show them what you've done.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Rahim Yusuf Olatunji. I am an entrepreneur and disability rights advocate. I'm also the Brown Ambassador, Star Children Development Initiative. I have a company, Youth Entertainment, that promotes talented individuals with disabilities who are into music, mixed ability dance, poetry, spoken words, and so on and so forth. So we inspire, empower, and infect in their willpower to succeed in life, irrespective of the challenges thrown at them. So that's what we do at that social enterprise company. And I also want to use I think I agree with all the previous speakers, especially on the early interventions, because I believe that catch them young is the key. Most of us, for instance, personally, I'm very privileged when it comes to early intervention. I'm lucky to have parents and neighbors who instilled power of courage, empathy, power of you can do it. No matter, they never discouraged me to make any move for anything that I want to do in life. So I was enrolled to the regular schools, and I enjoyed the same benefits in terms of extracurriculum activities, and that really helped me a lot. So now I'm competing favorably with not disabled people, or not people that don't really have disability in quotes. So I think if we can focus on this, we can solve so many problems of inferiority complex, problem of low self-esteem, esteem that we used to have among people with disability, thinking that people with disability, people without disability are much more better than them, or they cannot do it. So I think if we focus on that, we will solve a lot of problems, and we can have more people, we can have great men and women with disabilities that are going to contribute their own quota to development of their society and the world at large. And thank God that we have a couple of good examples in the world. We have people like Albert Houston, Stephen Hawking, Thomas Edison, we have Yinka Efele, we have Koba Masuko, Stevie Wonder, and all of these great men and women who, in spite of their disabilities, are making us proud. So I think if we can extend this to schools in terms of to schools, and we can, like, a part of there's a program Mrs. Grace Alexander is trying to put now, that like a mentorship for primary schools and secondary schools. And I think if we can also support this organizing this kind of things together, we can breathe young men and women with disabilities who will be proud of themselves and who can compete with anybody around the world. Thank you very much for that. And that will be my intervention for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rahim. Thank you so much. I have a message from Adebolu Adejobi. He says he has something to say. So I'm going to unmute you. Where are you? Okay, unmute yourself. There you go. Go ahead.
Thank you once again.
Okay, go ahead.
I actually want to say,
Adebolu, you changed position. You were very clear before, and now your connection is really poor. So we're not able to hear you as clearly as we heard you earlier on. Hello, are you there? No, we can't hear what you're saying. So what I'm going to ask, if possible, you can either type it in the chat or move to somewhere where you'll get a better... Okay. Let me just put him on.
In the house, it will be of a greater benefit unto them. And two, being a science student and learning to write my exam this year, there's a little bit of challenges for people with disabilities. Most especially when you have a little bit of, like, you can't assist yourself in writing, you can't see what you're doing. I wish there was a way, a law, or a right, or a constitution backing up the abilities of people living with disability in Nigeria, in all countries.
Oh, he's gone off now. Okay. Oh, okay, that's fine. We can always get him back at some point, or ask him to type what he's trying to say in the chat so that we can share. Yeah. Okay. I think that would be. It's unfortunate because it's the network that is really throwing them out, but it's not their fault. It's okay. It's part of it. So yeah. So thank you to everybody that has you know, contributed and said something as we continue to celebrate you all today. It is about you, and that's why we're calling on everybody, because we want to hear from you. I'm going to open the floor now to everybody, really, so that we can also hear your views on what you've heard today. You know, how can we, everybody, all I'm hearing this evening is how we can make things better, move it to the next level, raise awareness. You know, the head of CID said the money is nice, but let people get involved. How can we get involved? How can we show our presence? You know, the Paralympians, they come over, they're involved in sports. Sorry, the Paralympians, they come over, they're involved in sports, and then when they return back to their place of their bases, they go back to begging again. You know, some of them win gold medals. You can't go from that pedestal down. So please unmute yourselves. Let's have this conversation, because it's only when we exchange ideas, it's only when we speak out and speak about these issues that these issues get solved. Vicky, have you unmuted to talk, or have you just unmuted? Okay.
Vicky?
All right. Okay. Can I proceed? Concerning the Paralympians.
Yes.
I have one or two things to say. So I belong to one of the organizations that focus on sport, especially the grassroots sport development in Nigeria. And I happen to be the assistant director of that organization. So they have a particular segment in that organization that focus on para sports generally. And part of what we look at, in fact, they asked me to fix it. I was given directive to fix it some sports centers like stadium to examine the progress of some of our athletes with disability that para athletes are doing. But part of the things that I noticed, though I sent the report back to them, is that governments are not really paying much attention to para sports. In fact, unlike the other sports, whereby there are some staffs or there are some athletes that are registered and being paid for salary by the state government or federal government. They are under them. But in the case of people with disabilities who are into sport, like this, some of them, they do not have the same privilege. Even in some states in Nigeria, where they have just very few of them, maybe some, and even through the advocacy of some NGOs who brought it to the government's attention that, look, these people have won good for you in this country or for your state, and still there is no provision for such persons. So they end up going back to the street begging. So another case is that I think there is need for more NGOs to focus on sports, because there are so many potentials in that areas. We have very few NGOs that are focusing on the direction of para sports. So if we can have more NGOs that are going to work on that, so we can discover more great men and women in the sport world. And finally, is that I think there's need for individuals, philanthropies, and NGOs to make provision in terms of training kits. Most of these people, some of them, when I visited them, some of them, they are using their bare hands, especially the para soccers. They are using their bare hand to play. No first aid box for them. If they get any injury, there's nothing to take care of themselves and to take care of them. So if you look at their jersey and all the training kits, in fact, you can't just compare it with the other sports. So I think those are the areas we need to work on. If there's any ways we can do that, so that we can have more Paralympians or more athletes that can win more gold for us, and together we can change the perspective of the world when it comes to sport, para sports. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Latunji. Yeah, you've raised some very salient points there, and I'm sure everybody that is listening are taking those on board. If you'd like to type in the chat the name of the sports organization that you are involved with, it's important when you come on, if you do run or head an organization, please type it in the chat so that I've always said you never know who you meet when you come onto a Zoom, when you attend a conference, and it's hashtag Together We Can is one of Saffron's main initiatives. It's together that we will do this because no man is an island. So please, please, please type in the chat the name of the organization. Anybody else, please, let's throw our voices into this. We need to change the narrative. We've heard from those we are celebrating today. Now, I think it was Mr. Shegun who said, for parents, who are looking after such children, when you step out and you look in, it's only when you do that you can understand what is involved. So for those of us, who don't have, these kind of children, we're not looking after, this is the time to ask those questions. I think it was, what's the lady? Toby Loba, who said that the issue is not those with the disabilities or those who are, but the issue is with the society. Yeah, it's us, it's me, it's you, it's the way we look at these people, it's the way we don't greet them when we see them, it's the way we don't step aside, make way for them because they could be with a wheelchair, they could be, these are things. And I think every single person in one way or the other is guilty of this. So I always say it always starts with me. So before I point a finger out there, I point a finger at myself. What can I do? What little bit can I do to change the way I look at these people? If I see them, why will I not smile at them? If I can smile at somebody else, I can smile. We need to change the narrative. So please unmute yourselves. Let's have this conversation. It might be an uncomfortable conversation, but if it's going to be uncomfortable to make it right, then no apologies. Let it be as uncomfortable as possible. But let's have the conversation. So please feel free to unmute yourselves. This is Mr. Okay, you're with your wife's phone on a better network. Brilliant. So Mr. Olawale Dada has come back on his wife's phone. I'm going to see, oh, I don't know the name though. That's the problem. It would, because he had some amazing things to say. Let's see if we can get him back. Can you oh, Bukola Dada. Okay, there you go. I found.
Good evening.
I don't know that it's the phone. It looks like it's the area, but
good evening.
We'll try. Give you 2 minutes to see if we can get you out. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's go straight to it. Like I said, every creature to get most heroes, just focus on the ability. 2, celebrating heroes will be more if we could show more PDA. I advocate for PDA. What's my definition of PDA? Public display of affection, acceptance, and association. Once that is done, you'll be surprised what a special need child can do. You'll be surprised what can exhibit, what he or she can exhibit just from that display of PDA. So, but when they can see the pity look always around them, then you are limiting them. You pursue up the ability in them. They don't find the expression. They don't see the word as good enough for them. It affects their self-esteem. It affects their mental health. So once you can achieve a good, healthy PDA, and that will go on to selling, helping us to preach inclusion in all we do. Then for more heroes to emerge, it will take us to look at us as ability and inability, but also begin to see productivity in disability, begin to see profitability in disability, begin to see business in disability. I tell
Thank you.
you, there's business in disability. Living with disability is no mere number. If can do the math very well and focus on adding value, creating solution, you not only smile to the bank. So let me just leave it at that for tonight.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you
so much. Thank you, Mr. Dad. And thank you for even bothering to get another phone to come back. We appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, Yemi, I'm going to hand over to you for the final part of before we close. You know me and my time. So you have 4 minutes. Go ahead. Unmute yourself, please.
Oh my days. Oh, thank you for those 4 minutes. I probably would only take 2. We just needed to also highlight the fact that Auntie Grace Alexander, president of Star Children Initiative, is doing quite a lot of work, not only in Lagos, and I just really wanted to stress that. Auntie Grace, please feel free to unmute yourself. Let's see your face while we talk. You and I can actually just lead on this, because we did have some conversations previously, and I know she probably wouldn't give you all the details now. So when she's ready with her details, we will share it with you. But yes, she is doing some work in in Imo State. That's where Giz comes in, and I don't know why she actually pulled it. It's her yard.
Okay, is that
Yeah,
sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I don't want to pronounce it wrong.
Giz.
It's Giz.
Okay, are you from Imo State?
Yes, I'm from Imo State. So
oh, nice to know that. So okay, we need to talk afterwards then.
We definitely will. We definitely
talk
will.
afterwards then. So we have an ambassador. I don't know whether she's on Blessing. Okay, because she was.
Don't worry. What I really wanted to pull out is that we will be collaborating. Thank you.
She's not online. Blessing is not online.
Okay, thank you. So okay, continue.
Yeah, you're going to end. You're going to finish it. We're just going to be collaborating, supporting Auntie Grace and Star Children Initiative in Imo State. I'm looking forward to it. Please, Corona, stop. We need to be doing some physical and actual programs. We can't wait. But yes, and Auntie Grace complete the rest for us. So your
We're doing something on sensitizing. We're doing what we call, let me check it on the whatever we're doing about parents of special needs, sensitization, empowerment, and capacity building. Every child matters. That's the theme. And what we want to do is to sensitize people about that having children with disability, they do matter. They are human beings. They should be given opportunity, and at the same time using that opportunity to actually strengthen the political will, because nationally there's a kind of political will now, but in states, are there that kind of political will? So we're inviting some big guns to be on board. I've just spoken to one today, and he said he's sending sending a representative. And one of the things, like I told you, I believe in systemic change. So I'm just writing the letters to, we're inviting the Women Affairs as well. We will see
Yeah.
how it goes. And we are doing it in one local government called, I don't know how to pronounce it. Let me see. We're doing it in one local
This will
government.
help you.
Okay. We're doing it in one local government. Let me see. I'm just pressing. So, and we're going to do T-shirts. We're going to do like empowerment. We're going to have speakers because we have a mother who is in America. One woman. She's not my mother, but she's about over 50 years old, and she has cerebral palsy, and she has 4 boys, 4 children, doing fantastic. So part of it is to actually sensitize people in that local government to say, you know what, these children, they can strive, they can flourish if given love, if we accept the condition and be able to support them in their area of strength. So that is very, very important. And it's nice that you will be supporting us in that. Together we can win. That's sustainable goal 17. I mean, if we want to go far, we need to. And one of the things we are actually mentioning on that day, because Yemi is going to be one of the speakers, especially how you can safeguard your children in your home, because we need to do what are the things they need to look for. So part of it, that Yemi is going to be one of the speakers as well. So it's going to be awesome. And there will be a lot of activities. At least that will be the first of this kind in that environment. So I look forward to working with you on that project, which is really, really, really nice. And
You haven't given us the local government area, but it's okay. We'll get it.
Oh, let me see. It's from the local government, Owerri West, Imo State, Orogwe, Umwa Form.
Orogwe. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine. It's near my maternal home, but no, it's cool. We'll get there.
We're coming home. Okay.
So that we want to let people know that every child matters.
Every child
Because
matters,
we
yes.
still hear that they still lock some children in the house.
Yep.
And in fact, I had a terrible situation where somebody informed me, and we're actually inviting the man. The man works in the bank, and the wife is a teacher, and they will lock the child at home from morning till night with the pampers soaked. So we got that info, and we want to really invite him to this peer support, like a peer support group kind.
Yes.
So, and one of the things that part of my focus is the fact that, of course, women are mostly the primary carers of children with disability where we come from. And most of them, lack of information, lack of structures that are where they can seek support, lack of community services where they can seek support, actually can really overwhelm them and can result into a lot of mental health issues. So we're going to raise that, and we're going to do medical outreaches as well, doing the BP and whatever. And our coordinator there is called Blessing Chinemere. So it's called Blessing Chinemere, and she has disability as well, and she's also a medical scientist.
Okay.
Excellent.
So
Okay.
Well, that's
So,
exciting. Look forward to that.
Yeah.
So, and I thank you that you are supporting us with some of the things we need there. So
Yes,
amazing.
we'll be bringing your T-shirts and some more things. Yes, absolutely.
So,
Thank you. Well done, Auntie Grace.
We need support for a lot of, because we're going to give them food. These people are from, and with the COVID, people are actually living in penury.
Yes.
So we're going to give them food. That's not the basic, but part of it is that at least to give them something, we're going to pay money for their transport as well. So it's from 6 villages. They've informed the town crier. I don't know that town crier still exists.
Yes,
they do. Age. So I was like, they have to inform. They've informed them who they will announce, and we are going to make sure that we observe the protocol regarding COVID-19 pandemic. Okay. So we're not inviting too many people.
Yeah.
So we are going to have it on ground. We are just inviting just 50.
Okay.
And we've got a location. One church is giving us their hall to use. And And then we're going to have, what is it called? We're going to have, it's online as well, because we'll be viewing it and we'll be shown on Facebook Live. So we'll be posting the online. So we are talking online, people that are from, and they're talking.
We will
And
promote
most
this.
of the
We will
things,
promote this together, Auntie Grace. So I'm
yes,
really
yes.
excited. Okay.
Okay.
And one of the thing is that the mayor of former mayor of Enfield will be also coming. That's Auntie Kate.
Auntie Kate
Also
Anolo.
coming. Yeah, so we are going to start with a song, sing in Igbo.
Hey.
So it's going to be very, go to the roots, grassroots, not
get your jingle bells out, Giz.
And they will be
Oh,
translating.
don't worry, I'm ready.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll be translating it for all.
Auntie Grace, Giz has told me that my 4 minutes are up.
Okay.
And I think can I sneak in 1 minute for Mrs. Olajimeke Otitoloju, please?
Okay.
And then you can have the floor back.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Mrs. Otitoloju, you've got 1 minute. Are you there? It doesn't look like she's.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Oh yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to Mr. Shegun Joseph, Olawale Dada, Toby, and Bolu. It is indeed there is ability in disability. And how do we start? We need to start changing the mindset of the society to move away from the medical model and follow on the social model and see disability different in another way. See the ability in their disability and support people with disability in the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's been an amazing 4 weeks. We don't know how to say thank you to all of you, for coming on, for sharing. Mr. Dada has been blowing up our chat. So we're going to try and get out some of those things you're typing and share them out to everybody. I always aim to finish at exactly 8 o'clock. Time is everything to me. Timing is everything. So, at this juncture, we really want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Cedar, wow, I can't thank you enough, and we will continue to be there for you. Mr. Rahim, Afgras Foundation, Para Afgras Power of Sport, awesome. We will be looking more into that foundation to see how and where, because as I always say, once you join Saffron, you become part of the family. Auntie Grace, your foundation we are the foundation now, so that's not a problem. And we're looking forward to going back to Owerri. I grew up in Owerri, and Orogwe is somewhere I know very well. So it's going to be nice to be able to be part of that initiative. Iyaniwura Foundation, gosh.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so
very excited too, Auntie Grace.
Okay. Iyaniwura Foundation, God bless you. Thank you. Thank you for all the special people that you brought on. They are special. I call them special because they have to put up with us. We don't put up with them. They have to put up with us and our inadequacies. And so on behalf of, the community, I'm going to apologize because we need to be upstanding. We need to be remarkable. We are the ones that need to change, and I'm hoping that after this 4 weeks, there are going to be some changes, in our communities around everybody. So on behalf of SaffronSACAP, we want to say thank you all. We really will do another segment before 2021 rounds itself up. I think this is something we need to revisit. So without much ado, I'm going to say stay safe.
Yeah, I think the awareness, we need to create more
We
awareness.
definitely will.
Yes.
We will.
Oh,
And
sorry, did you hear that?
Yes, we
Apologies,
heard
I didn't
you.
know.
A good thing
Oh,
we heard
sorry, sorry,
you.
I was muttering to myself because
that's fine.
when she
We
was
love that kind of
apologizing on
mutter.
behalf of all of us, I thought probably if an awareness is created, people would realize that, you know, their actions and or non-actions, how it does affect other people. Because, you know, like you said, you don't make way for someone with a wheelchair, you know, you don't greet someone because they don't look like you. So all of that is under awareness. And probably, yes, maybe what we should do as a community is to create awareness about this. I do apologize. I was muttering. I didn't know that because you
Please
asked us
don't
to unmute before.
Thank you.
I
Thank you,
didn't
Sister Yemi
Sorry,
Akonyi.
that's it.
Voice of Hope. Thank you.
Thank
Lady
you.
Yemi, yes, thank you.
Lady.
That was
Let
some
me
amazing input.
mute myself.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We always want to hear from our community because obviously, you know, we can't do this without you. So thank you to each and every one of you, all our guests from Nigeria. God bless you. Thank you all so much. And
Please
please
unmute yourselves and talk.
we are here every Wednesday. We also have Saffron SDGF, which is Saffron Development Global Foundation, based in Nigeria in Lekki, and we've launched the voiceover. We will be doing the next Nigerian voiceover. I think it's next week Saturday, but we'll communicate. So please keep in touch. There's so much more that Saffron has to give, you know, and we want to do it together with all of you. We're very, very hot on our partnerships and on our collaborations. As you've heard already, we'll be supporting Auntie Grace with her initiative. So without much ado, good night. Have an amazing evening. And we will be back same time next week, Wednesday.
Please unmute yourselves and please give everyone who's been on today. Yeah,
and a
thank
round
you so much.
of applause for everybody that has come on. Thank you so much to all our guests.
I want to thank Saffron. We've been together for ages. This is not the first time we've done an event together in Lagos. And we realized when we went to hospital, and I know how passionate you are. You are so passionate about safeguarding.
Thank you,
I'm
ma'am.
passionate about people with disability. And it's nice networking with Mrs. Otitoloju. You have been wonderful. You've been amazing. I like what you're doing. Well done. Fantastic about your passion for persons with disability. And I want to appreciate all the people that have been with on this program for the past 4 weeks. So it's been like a song in my mouth that I have to be there, even though my church service starts at 7 o'clock, but for the past 4 weeks, I couldn't go. So I look forward to more collaborations, and thank you for supporting what we're going to do in Imo State. God bless you. And I pray that your divine helper will come visiting you many uncountable times, and that you will not be tired and be weary. And people, what you are actually propagating about safeguarding. Safeguarding is essential in every area of our lives. And together we can win. I'm on this with you. And I will say, well done, fantastic, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Auntie Grace. Thank you. We appreciate you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
And thank you for my Igbo colleague. Well done. I did not realize you are from Igbo. I thought you are from, maybe you are married to somebody from Jamaica or something.
I'm from Imo State, so we'll be going home. Don't worry.
I have a sister in Imo State. So my sister Jumoke, let me see your face.
Auntie G.
That your face that is shiny and shining so beautiful. With your
Auntie G,
eyelashes.
thank you so much. Nice meeting you the second time. Let me see so you can see my face.
Oh my God. Oh,
where is the video? So can you see my face now?
My sister, nice meeting you. We have a lot to do together with
ma.
Because there is no way, if we don't safeguard those children, they will be exposed to a lot of discrimination. They will be exposed to a lot of stigma. And one of the things is putting the right policies in place when it comes to safeguarding. Safeguarding is actually concerning every area, whether health, whether welfare, whether safety, it's all encompassing. So let us, the three of us, let's work together and make sure that we have a meeting. We are holding every state in Nigeria, even the federal government, accountable.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
let's embrace that systemic change, because if they put policies together, these children will not be disadvantaged.
It wouldn't be. Absolutely, absolutely.
So
thank you.
We're getting that meeting going. We're getting that Zoom meeting going.
Yeah, because one thing is that they will shortchange them, they will abuse the girls, they will be disadvantaged, they will face those children, our next generation, they will take stark poverty. So a lot of things has to be when it comes to safeguarding policies.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's a holistic view. I'll be sending the email, the link for our meeting as we discussed. So yes, it's a progress that we're going to capitalize on. Thank you so much. It's been an awesome time. So a lovely evening. Marcia.
Yeah, I'm just seeing the face of my sister now, so beautiful.
Thank you, ma.
And then your chain, just keep it
Beautiful.
for me.
Thank you, Auntie. I appreciate, ma.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Auntie Amma, thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thank you.
Adebola Ahmed, I saw you. Appreciate you. Love you. Everyone, Vicky, Robert, thank you, everyone. Mr. Joseph,
And
bye-bye.
Sida, well done.
Yeah, Sida, thank you.
Thank you.
So God bless you. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.